Daniel Artest, 265 Media, former college basketball teammate of yours truly. That's for another pod. Today I want to talk about the WNBA, the NBA Finals. What's the vibe, Daniel? What is the vibes?
Man, Combo, what's going on, brother? It's been a minute. It's good to see you, looking healthy and everything, you know what I'm saying? So, listen, man, it's just wonderful time being a basketball fan. Got the NBA Finals, WNBA season kicking off. And so, we here. We had to link up for this podcast, and I'm just glad to be here, brother.
Most definitely. We were talking on the phone yesterday, and you talked about how probably 90% of what you talk about is WNBA. For you, how's it been, the whole basketball zeitgeist, just kind of being about the WNBA these days?
Man, the crazy thing about it, man, is just it's been a wonderful ride, right? So I didn't think that I was ever going to cover women's basketball when I first started podcasting in 2019. I just thought that I was just podcasting just to do it and everything. You kind of was like the inspiration behind it and everything.
Oh, I appreciate that, Daniel.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And so when I started doing it, I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. I was just recapping games and just talking about how I feel and everything. Then I just started falling in love with it. And then, like, when the opportunity to cover women's basketball came about, I just jumped at it. My co-founder of the 9450, Kevin Lewis, K-Dot, we was on Clubhouse when Clubhouse was crazy back in those couple of years.
Right.
And then we did like a women's basketball show. Mind you, I had no experience covering women's basketball. I mean, I was a practice player for the Indiana Fever when they won their championship and their contending years and everything. So that was like my extent of women's basketball. And also, being from Queensbridge and being in close proximity to Astoria Projects, Shamika Holslaw and everything. But when K-Dot told me about this room that he was hosting in Clubhouse about women's basketball, I was like, I'll do it. Like I don't have no fear when it comes to trying something new. I would do it. So I jumped at it. I did my research for like 3 days straight. I did research, and then like we had a great show. And I want to say about 1,500 people was in this Clubhouse room listening to me talk women's basketball. Everybody was in there, like the greats, like Lisa Leslie popped in for a second, it was like Katie Smith, Nancy Lieberman came in there and everything. And so once we got feedback from that Clubhouse room and it was positive, I said, K-Dot, listen, let's do it. So we did it. And then here we are now 3 years later, and we have, if not the best basketball podcast regarding women's basketball, is up there, at least top 3.
It's the best. It's the best.
I agree with you. I agree
Daniel,
with you.
I mean, so with the increased attention, it feels like it's become less and less about basketball.
Yeah, man. It's like, and that's the conversation I don't get into because, we named it the 9450 to talk basketball only. So that's the conversation. Like when it goes there, I just go the other way. Man, I'm just like, listen.
But yeah, we got to talk a little bit about it today because I got to know because you're tapped in. I don't like that's why you're here.
Yeah. No. When I mean what I mean, I'm talking about in general. Not Combo's quote. We're gonna get into it. Okay. So basically, like the whole conversation with women's basketball today is about like Caitlin Clark, right? And everybody's just going crazy about her because of what she did at Iowa, becoming the Division I's leading scorer over Pete Maravich. That was a record that stood the test of time for years, Now, mind you, overall college basketball, she's not the leading scorer in overall college basketball. There's somebody by the name of, I forgot her name, but she went to Francis Marion. But she has over 4,000 points. But, like the conversation just went around Caitlin Clark and then the whole shoe deal situation. Now everybody is just like, wanting to see what's going on. Some people saying that she's overhyped because of the struggles that she's having at the start of her career. Like you got to understand something. 7 weeks ago, she played her last game in college basketball. The transition from that, with no type of pre-draft preparation, no real training and stuff. They got her traveling the country doing this stuff. She probably really couldn't work on her game, And so now you're going to get thrown into a professional basketball setting and expected to excel, I think that for the most part, I think that she's doing well. She's averaging about 15, 16 points, about
Yeah.
5 rebounds, 6 assists per game. The shooting percentages is bad. But I think that with this basketball, you're either going to make the shot or you're going to miss the shot. But the funny thing is that everybody's like, because they came out with this ESPN ranking and they have like Caitlin Clark number 6 out of all the rookies. And I'm just like, listen, if y'all talking about rookie of the year, Rookie of the Year that's the only award that stats and wins don't matter. Nobody's diving into like
True.
the win shares and stuff like that. This is all about stats.
Like
I feel
like Wemby. Like we don't care
yeah,
that he
yeah,
lost, that he
yeah,
was losing.
exactly. Like Wemby's plus minus is like crazy at the bottom,
Right.
because of the win-loss record and stuff. So, but like I think that what Caitlin Clark is doing right now, I think that is dope. I feel like every game that she went up against players is a playoff game. Everybody's giving her the best shots, and we seen obviously the push from Kennedy Carter and everything that got the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about that because Rebecca
Yeah,
Lobo mentioned that she doesn't think Caitlin Clark has been targeted. How true do you believe that to be?
that she thinks Caitlin Clark hasn't been targeted.
Has not.
Oh no, Caitlin Clark is not targeted, man.
Okay.
Listen, um, Combo, listen, me and you play basketball on a professional level.
Mhm.
We know like there's a rite of passage that we went through when we was young and that
100%.
we put players through. You know what I'm saying? Like I probably did it to you when we was in college. Like Combo, we go back 20 years. Like, like I'm a physical player.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'll do antics to try to get past and get out. It is what it is, but it's no hard feelings. People got to understand, the fans got to understand one thing. And I know that I'm on the NBA side of the podcast right now. And y'all should know, it happens. Was it unnecessary? Yes, but it's necessary on the court as well. It happens. We see people do it. We see James Harden do it. We see Draymond Green do it. We see my brother that
Right.
did it. Kevin Garnett did it. Like it happens. It happens. I don't think that there's no target. They just want to listen. Professional basketball. They want to do their jobs. They got to go home to their family, their kids. All they really trying to do is just compete, bust ass. That's it,
Yeah.
pretty much.
But Daniel, when we were college teammates, no matter what we had in practice, right? If somebody pushed you, I would be right up there for you.
Yes, sir.
No matter
Yes.
no matter what happened to you in practice, I'm gonna be right there. So I just have to ask you, like, Caitlin Clark gets pushed, and it seems like her teammates laid back a little bit.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Now, we're not condoning fighting, all right? Like,
We are
we're not
not.
saying that. We're not condoning fighting, but you want to be there. You want to
Mhm.
be there to see like, hey, what's going on? You're like we want to be there. We don't want to fight or whatever. We could get into almost fights. That's the way basketball is today. But just to
100%.
show just to show that, yeah, just to show that you got your teammates back. That's just what it is and stuff. But a lot of these players today, it's just a different era of basketball, and that's something that I have not been able to come to terms with in regards of like how that transpired and stuff. And the social media side of women's basketball is just so toxic and crazy, and they're thinking like, oh my God, Caitlin must be an asshole because they didn't have her back. I'm like, sometimes in the game, flight or fight happens.
Yeah.
And then sometimes like it just sometimes you forget. So yeah.
I might be wrong here, but here's where my mind went to, because I think in most situations, teammates would jump up, right? I feel like the WNBA is such a small community,
Yeah.
and even way smaller than the NBA. You know this, Daniel. And I do think there's a certain amount of hate when it comes to Caitlin. And I don't think her teammates hate her, but I do feel like they knew everybody would be watching that situation, and they might not want to be the ones to come out and defend Caitlin. Is there any truth to that, you think?
Yo, like for some reason, I don't think that players really be hating Caitlin, man. I don't
No,
think
I
so.
don't think I don't. Yeah, do you think? Okay, let me ask you this: What's 1 to 10? What do you feel the hate meter is for Caitlin Clark when it comes to other WNBA players? Honestly,
Well,
Daniel.
well, for Kennedy Carter is a 10. For Kennedy Carter is a 10. Maybe for DJ Carrington is about an 8. But
Mm,
I just think that these players, like I believe them when I'm not going to say, when a player speaks out about Caitlin, when Coach Becky Hammond spoke about how nobody hates her, they just want to compete. I'm not going to say this person is lying. I think that since I've been covering it, I think that the access that I've been given, like these coaches and these players have been really like the word has been their bond and everything. So I'm not going to be like, hey, this such and such is lying, such and such is lying. I do. Well, maybe, who knows what they're really thinking about, behind closed doors and stuff like that. I mean, listen, $28 million for a player that hasn't stepped on the court, while Asia Wilson, who is the face of women's basketball right now. We don't know how much she got, but we know that she just got her shoe, her signature shoe and everything. So maybe there could be, I think the resentment is coming more from fans and stuff because of how the media, pushes it. I really do think that the players just want to compete. And now that every game that the Indiana Fever is playing is on national TV. I mean, listen, at first it was 36 out of the 40 games is on national TV. They just added another one. 37 out of 40 is on national television. I think players just want to compete and do their best and stuff. But one thing about Caitlin that I like too is that she talks the trash too. And she's doing the hits. Like when Kennedy Carter bumped into her, no, that's a reaction to what Caitlin did.
Right. I mean, she's been doing this, right? She's been doing all that for a while.
Yeah. But like, when I like how she gives it back. I mean, I do like how Caitlin approaches the game. As a rookie, she's not getting punked and everything. And listen, the attention that she's getting defensively, and she's still averaging 15 points. I think that's kind of dope, and I think that's going to help her out. Even during this off season coming up, or even during the Olympic break, because the WNBA takes like a month and a half off. Whatever, if she doesn't get selected to the Olympic team, which I hope she don't, so she can get in the gym, fine-tune her craft, and get in that weight room and get stronger, and then have a productive second half of the season and everything. So I really think that this is just great experience. I mean, Combo, you got to understand this, right? And people bring race into this, and I want to ask you as a white man and stuff, playing predominantly black sport, women's basketball, WNBA is 92% black, right? Like, how did you adjust when you was playing in these inner city tournaments? You played in a lot of hood tournaments and everything, and people, trying to punk you and stuff. Like, how did you, hold up to that? You know what I'm saying? So you became the player that you became.
I felt a lot of it was so there wasn't a lot of fighting going on, right? It wasn't a lot of fighting for me. But obviously when people started to realize like my game and who I was and all that stuff, I think there was like less targeting, but I was definitely targeted when people didn't know who I was. Like I remember in Rucker Park, they tried to post me up 28% possessions in a row. But my thing is like, if they're going to give me that energy, I'm going to give it back. Cause if I don't give it back, it's just going to last the whole game. So like in that situation at Rucker Park, they kept posting me up. This is just one example. He was scoring on me too. But I was going back the other way, talking a whole lot of junk, talking to the coach, talking to everybody. We were losing. I didn't care, but I just wasn't going to be the guy to be targeted the whole game. So I wanted to give it back. Like that was my biggest thing. Like I wanted to give it back.
Yeah. And I think that if somebody is targeted, it's also not a bad thing. You want to play against the best, and you want to show like what's up. Like I remember, growing up, Lenny Cook was the #1 player in the nation.
Shouts to Lenny. He's been on the pod. Shouts to Lenny.
Shout out to him. And we played against each other at ISA. It was me and Sunyata Gaines, basically against him and Gary Irvin. #1 player in the nation. ISA is packed. We go at it. My team, we win the game. I had a great game, 26 points. Sunyata was the one that handled his bit. I think he had like 39. But I was definitely bumping Lenny any chance I can get. Yelling to the crowd, this is the best the city could offer. This is the best the city could offer. Because remember, I moved to Chicago at the time.
That's not the energy. That's not the energy basketball has anymore, right? It's not that type of energy.
Not that type of energy no more.
Not even close. That kind of gives me like that old feel, bro.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. That is some Daniel Artest. That's some Brock Daniel Artest stuff right there.
Right. Hey, listen, if I say all the stuff that I was saying then, right now, I'd probably be in prison, man. You can't say nothing no more, man. Like, I used to talk to players, like, when they bring their girlfriends to the game and stuff, and I'll score on them, like, hey, sweetheart, man, I know that's your boyfriend and all, but, like, I just scored, man. You got to look at the houses. You got to look at the basketball court, like the bedroom. He's not protecting you. Why don't you just let me show you what a real man is like? Like stuff like that. Which that's my go-to. Don't bring your girlfriend to a game when I'm playing against you, because I'm talking to her. I'm playing for her. I want her heart and stuff like that. I want you to bump me and play me physical, because that's my alley. There we go. Then now, welcome to my world and stuff. But I just think that like targeting, it's it's like it's positive and negative. It just depends on how you go about it and
100%,
everything.
how you handle it.
Yeah, it's about
100%.
how you handle it and stuff.
I
But
wanted
Caitlyn
to
handles it.
yeah, I wanted to
Like,
shift to Angel Reese.
yes.
I love the energy she's bringing to women's basketball. I think it's been
Yeah.
great. Recently, she said the increased attention. I'm not saying this verbatim, but what she was speaking to was that the increased attention hasn't only been about one person. Your thoughts?
Oh, facts. Listen, when Angel Reese did this back to Caitlyn and did the ring thing back to Caitlyn, that started pretty much everything, you
It's a
know?
fact. You got
So
to go
yeah,
back, right? You got to go back
yeah.
for sure.
You
Yeah.
gotta understand, Angel Reese, like her importance is noted. And what she's brought to the game as far as like the eyes and everything, it can't be denied. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about a player. She's the second player in WNBA history to go to the Met Gala, but this time she went to the Met Gala for basketball reasons. You know,
Mm,
it wasn't like what Brittany Griner went, which is, you know, no slight to BG and everything, but Brittany, you know, obviously what she went through in Russia, you know, coming back and now going to all these, you know, these events and everything like that. But Angel Reese, totally different thing. It's the basketball stuff, what she does off the court, you know, and just being a great teammate and stuff. Now, mind you, I wish it would translate on court. Now I think she takes like 9 shots a game. She's shooting less than 35% from two from the, you know what I'm saying, rebounds and shooting
wow.
35% right there. So we want to get better at that. And I just hope that in this offseason and during this Olympic break, you know, she really fine tunes and hones into her game because the motor translates, the rebounding translates. She's a very underrated defender, a very underrated passer, playmaker, and everything. But like I just think that when she's shooting, you know, like 9, 10 shots and shooting like, you know, basically 3 for 10 every game it's you know, it's much more to be desired from that. But as far as like her off court stuff, her impact has been huge, bro. It has been really huge, and really happy for her. I got to meet her family at the draft and stuff, and like her mom played basketball too, a double queen, just like her daughter and
Mm.
everything. And it was just basically telling me that how bad like, you know, Angel wants to be great and stuff, and you know I share my opinion and everything about like what I want to see her do, kind of like don't have her with these social media trainers because she was working with a lot of them. Like that's not her game. You know, like she's a bump and grind type of player and everything. So like you just want to, bring her along slowly and stuff because she really can do something. She really
That's
can.
interesting. That's it. Like, so like we talked about kind of all the non-basketball stuff, but for you, like in terms of skill development, and let's say you had her for the summer, right? You were working with her, you were trying to improve her game. Like, what would you do with her to help her improve her game?
I will work on her footwork. I think a lot of these rookies, they footwork is horrible. Even Caitlin Clark's, I would
Mm,
definitely work with her. Yeah. I think that her footwork could definitely be better when she's catching the ball. Like even when she's getting into a shot, I think that's kind of slow. She don't cheat her feet off the curls and everything. You know about cheating your feet, getting your foot lined up when you're
right,
coming off the curl and
right.
stuff like that. I kind of feel
That's
like if
almost
you,
like that could come from laziness when you're working on your game, right? Like not paying attention
yeah,
to the details.
yeah, I learned like a lot of the stuff that I learned about with footwork. I learned from Chuck Person. Like he's very, very
The
meticulous.
rifleman, the
Yeah,
rifleman. Yeah,
very meticulous on footwork, and that's how like I had great footwork even for my size and playing the power forward and center position. You rarely see me get my shot blocked.
mm.
Like it's not even about just being
I
strong.
don't
It's
think
about
I don't
just
think I remember it, Daniel. I don't
I
think
don't
I
think
remember it happening. Yeah, I don't remember
yeah,
that happened. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I take pride in that. That I rarely got my shot blocked because of the footwork and the strength and stuff. But Angel, she has that. I would just work on her footwork and also just work on her touch. Like just taking it. We're gonna strip it all the way down to the basics with her and have her work on her touch and everything. Because her everything else is there. It's just that her touch around the rim is not at where it's supposed to be at right now. So that's what I would love to work on with her.
All right. Did you get to a chance to? I know you're deep into WNBA. Did you get a chance to watch the finals last night?
Yeah, I got to watch the finals, man. Shout outs to Jason Tatum, right?
Shout out
Played
to
not.
Jason Tatum,
I'm
Jalen
gonna tell you
Brown. You
why. I'm
should.
gonna tell you why. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Shout out to Jason Tatum because he gets all the credit. He gonna get all the credit for this. He played horrible last night. You know what I'm saying? He's the only one that's gonna get away with murder, man. But like the game was like when Porzingis came in, it was just he just turned up. Like
Yeah.
I was nervous about him when he was playing, because, he had that calf strain, and, the strain sometimes, that always gets worse as times go by. So I was really interested in seeing how he came out. And boy, he was a terror, hitting the jump shot, affecting whether he was blocking shots or giving everybody the big hand syndrome. He was effective, man. He was the best player on the floor at times. And then Jaylen Brown, he had a nice personal run. I think that the 2 block shots that he had, hitting the jumper and just playing all out aggressive and stuff. And it was a great game. Dallas gotta regroup for game 2. So now they got blown out, but each finals is a different chapter of the story. Yeah. So
those points don't roll over. I do think like Kyrie's going to play a lot better next game. Luka could play even better, even though he had 30 and 10. I felt like the Celtics shot quality was almost too good, to the point where the Mavs weren't doing enough to run them off the line. Like, what adjustments do you think the Mavs can make moving forward?
Shoot more. Think about it. Like, wasn't it like either like 1 or 2 in attempted 3-pointers, right?
Yeah.
They didn't get no 3-pointers up like that. And
nervous?
Also,
you think they were nervous? Finals, big lights?
Yeah. Now, I would say that because of, they got a lot of veterans on Dallas, but they also got a lot of young players. They do, yeah. And you've seen like how it affected Derek Lively yesterday.
He fouled that he had like 5,000, like what, 16, 17 minutes.
Yeah. So it's like a mixture. So I think that, and also with Luka, Dallas got to try to find a way to get Luka open more. Not even for him to score. He's going to score, but he only had 1 assist. Like, I was like, now that was shocking. 1 assist for Luka Doncic, somebody that was on a nice playoff run, gets 1 assist. So I just think that what Dallas just got to do is just fine tune the stuff. Just go back to the drawing board real quick and be like, okay, cool, we did this. Now let's just go and clean up our stuff in practice or shoot around, and then just come out in game 2 and just play harder. Let's compete. Let's not get down 29, in the first half. Let's compete.
Yeah. Jaylen Brown, I mean, you kind of mentioned the thing with Jason Tatum. I don't know if you know this, Daniel, like the Celtics fans are after me for how I've kind of analyzed the Celtics, and I'm not as high on Jason Tatum as much, but we're going to stay on topic a little bit with that. What if Jaylen Brown wins Finals MVP? That means Eastern Conference Finals MVP, Finals MVP. I've been talking about for a long time that Jaylen Brown doesn't get enough credit, and Jason Tatum might get a little too much credit.
Like I said, like we just started off the topic, I agree. He's going to have these games where he's going to shoot 7 for 22 or whatever, and then he's going to have the one great game. Then all of a sudden, he's just going to get the credit. But mind you, Jaylen Brown, who has been the engine of the Boston Celtics, just so consistent. I just rarely see him make mistakes on the court. I know everybody's talking about the whole left hand thing or whatever. I'm like, nah, this guy can play. I really like his 100%. Game. Yeah. And you listen, it's conference finals MVP for a reason, like this dude brings it all the time. And I just like the way how he gets after it. Now with Tatum, I just want to see Tatum take the leap, man. I just feel like he hasn't taken the leap yet. And you made a good point when we was talking about it on the phone on how he plays like he's doing like a lot of skill development workouts and stuff,
Yeah, he's playing like he's in a drill and not really reading the game. That's like the biggest difference for me. A lot of people ask, like, that's a big talking point. What's the biggest difference between Luka and Tatum, right? Like, why is Luka so much better? It's just the way he reads the game. And often Tatum is just taking tough shots, or it looks like he's doing his skill development work in the game.
Luka's just better anyway. First of all, like there's no comparison.
I think Celtics fans might disagree. Celtics fans might disagree with you. I don't know these days. Who knows?
Hey, listen, Celtics fan, the Artest effect on Twitter. Okay, the Artest effect on Twitter. All one word. If y'all have a problem, y'all want to talk about it. All right, I'm here. But listen. Just have that come to Jesus moment.
Teammates having teammates back, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. Man. You bump combo, man. I'm hitting you with an elbow.
But Daniel, great stuff. Where else can we find you besides Twitter? Let us know about your platform and everything you got talking about WNBA, and then that little bit of 10% NBA when you do talk about it.
Yeah, so listen, I'm the co-founder of the 9450. That's a women's basketball podcast network. We have 16 different podcasts on this network. We cover every WNBA team, as well as the main show, Keep It in 9450. Also, we got 21 titles, is our women's basketball, but from a business perspective only. That's hosted by Shantae Hallett and Brittany Ray, who's Alan Ray's. Wait, did Alan Ray play for the Celtics?
He did.
That's his sister Brittany is with us too. You know, the 9450 is just full of all these podcasters. We all had to play basketball once in our life somewhere on some level. That's my stipulation on the network. But you can find us at the 9450 on Twitter or Instagram. It's the 9450_. YouTube, the 9450. Like we've really been growing and we really been having a lot of fun doing this, man. And you know, for me, just the Artest Effect, wherever you want to follow us, follow me at, and the podcast, the podcast platform, Spotify and YouTube and Apple, simple stuff like that, man.
It's not simple, bro, because I seen you do it from the beginning. I seen all the hard work, and I'm really
first guest. The first guest ever.
I'm really proud of you. But so subscribe to the NBA Report. Give us a thumbs up, share it, all that good stuff. We appreciate everyone who tunes in across the globe. Daniel, I'll see you soon. We're out of here.
Yes. Peace.